I got a tone-deaf fundraising email from a Democratic Party PAC fundraising for some candidate, and I sent a reply back that said, neither I nor anyone I know is giving any more money to any Democratic candidate who isn't out there in these streets loudly protesting and talking about how we can gum up the gears with sand. Take a hint from AOC and Jamie Raskin. What's up, fam of Liberty, and also everyone else watching this video who isn't following our channel for some fucking reason. She knew best friend of Big Sarge, the artist formerly known as Admin Tim. I'm the founder of the Sons of Liberty social media organization that's been steadily shitposting and enraging MAGA fuckface ass clowns since 2015. If you saw us out in the streets at a protest for the first time, and or you're new to our channel, I know what you might be thinking, despite the fact that I'm wearing a shirt. So if that didn't fucking clarify things for you, I can't fucking help you. Anyway, if you're not following the channel, then feel free to consider following the channel after you watch this video and decide whether or not you like the cut of my jib and the things that I have to say. Tomorrow is Wednesday, 5 February, and at 7 p.m. Eastern, the Sons of Liberty is conducting a live stream with former U.S. Navy pilot Ken Harbaugh, a political activist with Valor Media and Midas Touch Networks. Ken participated in the making of a documentary called Against All Enemies, which talks about the rise of the violent extremism movement in America. It's a solid watch. It's available on YouTube, so the link is going to be posted in our YouTube and Facebook video description, so give it a watch. We'll be talking about it during the live stream, which again is tomorrow, 5 February at 7 p.m. Eastern. Speaking of links, the link to our live stream is already on our YouTube channel, so go ahead and click the button there to get notified when we go live. Just as a reminder, about 20 minutes before the stream starts, I start playing some indie film and machinima stuff that I've done with fellow Sons of Liberty admins V and Matt with Bravo Whiskey Charlie Films. And about 1 minute before we go live, you'll hear our ring intro music that I composed. Yes, that's a wrestling reference. Fix bayonets! The term checks and balances is today's equivalent of thoughts and prayers. It's only a small handful of Dems who are actually out there doing anything. Yesterday, a handful of Democrat senators and representatives tried to gain entry to the U.S. aid building and were stopped by guards. So as Adam Kinzinger said, members of Congress need to walk into the buildings where Elon's people are and see what they're doing. Dare them to stop you. Y'all motherfuckers need to do something, and not to put too fine a point on it, but if two fat white dudes at a door tell you that you, a congressperson, can't go in, then I'm just going to go ahead and say what the rest of the goddamn planet is already saying. You need to turn around and start shouting to the crowd of people behind you that they can't stop you and push your fucking way past these obstructionist motherfuckers. Make them throw the first punch. Make them fire the first shot. But goddamn you to hell if you don't fucking do something. You swore an oath to us, not Elon. Any fucking Democrat who votes yes for any of these cabinet appointees has been bought and is a collaborator, straight up. An unelected billionaire who remained in the country illegally, who has a private link to Vladimir Putin and fascist oligarchs, has taken control of government agencies, granted himself and a six-pack of incel virgins access to sensitive and classified information about 300 million Americans, and countless FBI and CIA operatives, their families, and their informants, and they've asserted the right to fire Americans and veto spending authorized by Congress that Elon Mussolini dislikes. I don't know why this man is still alive, and I'm only saying that because this weirdo with the bad-built body shared a picture of his bedside table, and he has a cosplay replica revolver and a ton of empty soda cans. This motherfucker with a walrus body is in his late 50s. Do y'all understand what would happen to me if I drank that much soda per day? I would drop dead. Anyway, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Nobody fucking elected Elon Mussolini, and I don't know why we're getting distracted by tariffs and blaming DEI for plane crashes because y'all motherfuckers remember that movie, Wag the Dog? There's more important shit to worry about, like what's going on with St. Luigi, patron saint of the downtrodden, and Elon Mussolini seizing power. And all y'all people that are like, this isn't an insurrection, miss me with that bullshit, all right? They didn't have to storm these buildings. They got let in, except in like one case, and the people who denied them entry were then unlawfully terminated the next day. If this ain't an insurrection, then this is a goddamn 5-alarm fire with a crime in progress. And it might be something, it might be nothing, I don't know. But why are a bunch of government websites changing the flag from the U.S. flag to a flag with 9 stars? That's some Confederacy bullshit right there. And the last time a bunch of religious conservative oligarchs tried to fuck around, they found out real fast, and in less than half a decade, they'd been depopulated of fighting-age white men, and no black people did not willingly fight for the Confederacy because they weren't allowed to own guns. But I digress. If a bad president can come in and let his supervillain, wealth-hoarding sugar daddy come in and take away our rights, and we're only dependent on a good president replacing them in 4 years, and that's if they let us bring in a new good president to give us back our rights, then we do not have any rights. If a politician does the bidding of his oligarch paymaster and takes away or distributes those rights, then they are not inalienable and they are not rights. Those are conditional privileges, divvied out according to the whims of whoever currently holds the reins. And if we want to have actual rights, then we must build a system in which no one has the power to take them away to begin with. Rights have to be protected because wicked humans want to take them away from others for their own benefit. Capitalism is a scarcity mindset. Less for you means more for me. You get to live in a roach-filled tenement, and that means I get to have second and third homes and a super yacht to service my super yacht. That is the foundation of the system that has us choked. What I use to take a piss and where I take that piss, that isn't your enemy. Jose and Maria coming across a border because wealth-hoarding American oligarchs turned their country into a war-torn shithole isn't your enemy. The enemy is that wealth-hoarding oligarch. And the biggest wealth-hoarding oligarch that nobody fucking elected is running rampant over our sacred institutions. Nobody is coming to save us, America. Not the so-called liberal media that has sane-washed Trump despite negging Biden for being old and questioning his senility. Not the celebrities out there talking shit behind their keyboards. Not the politicians we elected. No superheroes in this story, but you, fam. And in the digital age where everyone has a cell phone and your every move can be recorded and uploaded for posterity, your friends and family are watching. Your kids are watching. Your brothers and sisters are watching. The world is watching. I know it's tough. You feel paralyzed by fear, sorrow, grief, disbelief, sadness, anger. You need to shake that shit off now. And again, I know it's tough. It fucking sucks right now, but you're an American and you need to act like it. This country has a history of a whole lot of bad shit, but it also has a history of great deeds. The American Revolution, the War of 1812, the Civil War, World Wars I and II, the Civil Rights Movement. Do I need to go on, or are you getting the picture? Americans stand the fuck up when someone says kneel. Americans decide it's better to die on my feet than to live on my knees. You know why our military is successful in battle? Some of it is our training, but some of it is because we look at the troops on our left and we look at the troops on our right and we say, fuck fear. I'm not going to look like a punk in front of my battle buddies. Fuck terror. I'm not going to let my buddies down because they're not going to let me down. That's why we fight and that's why we win. So for all of you civilians out there watching Big Sarge and you're afraid, I need you to embrace the suck and adopt that warrior spirit. And don't get it twisted. This isn't a call for violence. Pick a hill worth dying on, as the saying goes, because every act of resistance, no matter how small it is still an act of resistance. You can resist in any number of ways, and I've mentioned quite a few since the election. We need to speak out loudly. We need to write emails and handwritten letters. We need to call our elected officials and governors and state attorneys general, even if they're Republicans. We need to protest. We all need to be activists. Doesn't matter if you're afraid. I'm afraid too, but don't tell nobody I said that shit because I'll deny it. Whatever hill that you think is worth dying on. Immigration, trans rights, gay marriage, harassment of LGBTQ and minorities, human rights violations, subversion and espionage against the United States by obscenely wealthy oligarchs. Pick that fucking hill and get to the top of it. Plant your flag and say, get behind me, fellas, because this is as far as the bastards are going. Pick that hill and defend it at all costs. And again, I know it's tough when you feel paralyzed by fear. I get that. Shout out to my friend Risky for this. When you're that helper in the group and your own light starts to dim, it can be such a dark pit. A lot of us have been there, including your queer uncle Big Sarge. It's so hard to ask for help when you're used to always being the one that's the helper. Some days we just have to focus on breathing life into our own flame because we can't help anyone if we fall apart. A pointy-eared elf said, "We don't fight the darkness with strength, we have to fight the darkness with our light." I'm here to tell you, said the bearded, broad-chested dwarven battle rager, don't let these motherfuckers snuff out your light. In these times of despair, simple acts of kindness can be life-changing. Just being happy can be an act of resistance. Don't let these motherfuckers rob you of your happiness. Be defiant. Be resistant. Stand up and join me, even if the paralyzation feels overwhelming. You can, and I know you can because you're still here, because I believe in you and I fucking need you by my side in this fight. Courage isn't the absence of fear, but rather the triumph over it. I've got your six, and I got a whole pack of pissed off citizens across the country who also got your six. And when necessary, I will absolutely stand in front of you instead of beside you. So I've talked at length in other videos about being a veteran. I was in the United States Army for about 10 years. I've been an active part of the veteran community ever since. First with Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America, and then doing my own thing with my indie film company, Bravo Whiskey Charlie Films. I've been in a political activist mode since 2015, since Trump came down his golden escalator to announce his 2016 bid for the presidency. I continue to advocate for veterans and uplift the veteran community. I stay abreast of what's going on in the military and how we fight our wars. I keep my soldiering skills sharp, and I go to the gym several times a week to stay fit to fight. My oath did not end with a DD-214. So if you're actively serving on active duty, or you're in the Guard or the Reserves, I'm calling on you to remember the oath that you swore when you raised your hand. If you're given orders to violate the civil or human rights of someone who's physically in this country, if you're ordered to harm someone who's physically in this country, say no. If you are ordered to deport someone who says they're a U.S. citizen, say fucking no. There are people in this country who will back your play 100%. There's a group of activists in the military who will defend you for defying an illegal order. I was just following orders. Didn't work for Lieutenant Calley over the My Lai massacre, and it didn't work for fucking Nazis at Nuremberg. You absolutely must resist just as much as the rest of us, because history will judge you harshly. I don't give a fuck what your political affiliations are, whether you're conservative or liberal. I don't care who you voted for or if you voted at all. I don't care that they tell you you gave up your rights so that others could have theirs, because no the fuck you did not give up your rights, and no the fuck we don't have ours. Y'all remember James Mad Dog Mattis, Saint Mattis of the Holy Hand Grenade? Remember how universally revered he was for being a warrior monk until he took a job with the first Trump administration and then resigned because Trump was a fucking idiot and a tyrant? Remember how quickly people in the cult turned on Mattis? Not one fucking week after they were sharing Mattis memes and legends and sayings. Remember how they turned on Mark Milley and also anyone else wearing a uniform? Remember how they say thank you for your service and then question your loyalty, question your existence, question what fucking genitalia you have? These people do not give a single fuck about you if you are not a diehard cultist. And one day, that senile old white guy is going to die. And when he does, it's going to be a shit show of clowns falling out of the clown car to take over. You will be discarded and swept aside, another cast-off throwaway for what's been forgotten. But there is a place for you, my uniformed colleagues. There is a place for you at this table. Refuse unlawful illegal orders. Stand up and remember the oath that you swore to this country and its Constitution. We will back your play. There's a place for you in the fam of liberty, and there's a place for you in the America that will stand up and resist this tyranny. Remember your oaths and keep them in your heart. Don't be a disappointment to the generations of warriors who fought for, bled for, sweated for, and sometimes gave their life for this country. That's my time for today. I'm skipping my usual obligatory disclaimers. You can go watch them in yesterday's video. 2 claps and a Rick. Pick a hill worth dying on. Join or die. Woo!
And now it's time for the Throatpunch!
Some of it is because of our training, but some of it is because we look at the other troops on our left and we look at the troops on our right and we say, fuck fear. I look to the right and the left.